there are Gen Zs who have also come into workforce.
Yeah. So it's a controversy going on now. Well, I started my career as a sales guy, not as a HR guy. So it's a world of Netflix, right? You can't have one fit for all, right? You should have training program which fits to that person.
What would be the future of HR in fintech in 10 years down the line?
Gen AI coming in, it is all about there's a future, right? There will be certain jobs which will not be there. There are new jobs, the new skills will be required. So that is what is going to generate.
Welcome to the CHRO Exchange, the Masters Union podcast series, where we delve into the strategies, philosophies, and visions of the most inspiring HR leaders shaping modern workplaces. Today, we're privileged to host Subhash Menon, the Group Chief Human Resource Officer at Angel One of India's leading fintech companies. In his prior roles, Subash was instrumental in shaping the HR landscape at India First Life Insurance and SBI Life Insurance, spearheading initiatives like large-scale talent acquisition, advanced performance management systems, and change management for thousands of employees. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, Shikhar. By the way, we don't call ourselves as sir. You can call me by first names.
My bad. Very warm welcome to you, Subash.
Thank you, Shikhar.
Subash, I would want to have a sneak peek into your life, into your early career. What has led you to become a Group Chief Human Resource Officer? Some key developments, some key milestones, early in your career, maybe late in your career, which has led you here.
Okay. First of all, I started my career as a sales guy, not as a HR guy. And for three and a half years, I was a medical representative. And that is where I met one of my mentors. And he said, you have got a good management skill. You should do your HR degree. So that is how I ended up in NMIMS and doing my HR degree. And that's how my HR career started off.
Interesting.
And it had been an interesting journey of with various companies and coming over here, reaching at this level. It's never been easy, but there are lots of learnings which I think over the next half an hour we should talk about it. Yeah.
Understood. So, which means you've pivoted your domain altogether, right? While I understand sales and marketing is also about people management. I mean, any personal reason you preferred HR, or is it just because the mentors kind of told you that you are really good at it, why don't you give it a shot? So I just want to understand the reason. Like, is there any motivation why you pursued HR and left sales and marketing altogether?
So when I was doing my MBA, so we in the first year it's the same subject, right? And then when you get into the second year, that is where I realized, okay, this is my forte. I think I can do, I can't be a typical HR kind of a person. I can be a business HR kind of a guy who understands the business and who can relate the people with the business. So that was the thought process which I had. And that is how I persuaded myself to be in HR.
Oh, very interesting. I think so. You've come a long way, right? Would just want to do a more deep dive into your personal life. What are some of your favorite methods to stay on top of business trends, maybe trends in the fintech industry, trends in the HR industry? Like, how do you stay updated?
So now it's a world of Google, right? It's a world of WhatsApp University, right?
Yeah.
And you're learning, you get the learning across, right? It is not that, okay, you have to be going to a specific person. For example, like even if I go on a taxi, I speak to the taxi driver and you learn from what's happening, what's their thought process.
Correct.
So, and if you look at Angel, right, we have almost 70% of my population is millennials and almost 20% are Gen Z. And when you speak to them, okay, it's a learning. So you don't have to go across. Earlier, you have to go to a seminar or a conference to get a knowledge. Over here, right now, it is you speak to people and you get those learning. And I keep myself updated about the things, what's happening in the fintech world. I do various courses also whenever it is required. I still, learning will never stop, right, till you die, right? That's how I look at things. So every day is a learning, right? And so it's like meeting people, networking, speaking to people. And yeah, while driving back home, I listen to some audibles, and so that's how I prefer my learning.
Very interesting. I think it is rightly said, there's no age for upskilling. I mean, you can upskill yourself at any age, right? And I think while I was reading about Angel One is very known and very famous for upskilling programs as well, right? And I think it completely resonates now with me, because when the leader is someone who wants to upskill, I mean, the company would also, follow the same charter. So just want to hear it out from you that any of these learning and development programs, something which was very creatively made and, kind of has helped the entire organization.
So there are multiple programs, so right across the level, right? And what we do over here at Angel is we ensure that each level is personalized learning is given to each level. And when it comes to a senior, like a VP level, or we also send them to IIMs, right? And we ensure that the continuous learning is happening. So there is programs which is called as Empower. There are programs for leadies especially. So we do various things around that. It is not just we do a specific type of training. If you ask me, is there any specific? For me, like each of the learnings which we provide is specific across the levels, right? And when a person comes in, joins in, right, there is an onboarding training. Okay, so we ensure that it is given in such a fashion so that they understand from day one what is Angel is. When a person is there in the system for long, okay, so we provide those specific personalized. So it's a world of Netflix, right? You can't have one fit for all, right? You should have training program which fits to that person, right? So that's how we ensure that the training program is given to that specific individual, what is required for that individual.
So when you say personalized, does that mean the leaders are available in person for the onboarding programs?
Yeah, it's a mix of because we are work from anywhere as of now. So it's a mix bag. So some people come to office, some people will be online. So it's a mix. It's not that, okay, the person has to be specific. But yeah, if somebody is going for an IIM course, right, yeah, it will be an in-person kind of course. Yeah.
Also, now since we're talking about training and development, financial literacy is, there is a lot of focus on it, right? And also responsible investing. And Angel One being at the core of it, right? How do you make sure, we are making sure our employees are actually financially literate? And, eventually if they are, I mean, it leads to very strong enablement and empowerment at that org level, right? How do we make sure we do that?
Yeah. So as we have become a digital company, like people who come are from the tech world, right? And they don't understand the financial services part of it. So we impart them training on the financial services, saying what is financial services is all about, right? Plus, whenever we are launching, like in near future, we are launching some product, okay? So we are going to do a seminar on that product and make them people understand, okay, what is this product is all about,
right?
So that's how we do financial services when it comes to the employees which are there. Similarly, we do a CSR initiative. So our CSR initiative is towards the financial literacy, right? So we tie up with various companies around, the NGOs around, and we impart financial trainings to those people. So it's a part of it. So we don't hire anyone now from BFSI or who is a financial literate kind of a person. We hire people from across the industry and then train them in the financial part of it.
I think talks volume of how the system's been designed so that, someone who doesn't even come with the relevant industry knowledge becomes equipped with it and then delivers well. Talks tons and volumes about the foundational which has been kept at the company. Would also want to check now, we spoke about women in the organization, right? Like women in the organization, what are there any customized programs for women empowerment, or are there any customized program which will make sure that, there are women who are rising up to the senior positions and, senior leadership? Or like, how are we making sure that, our programs, policies are inclusive in the organization?
Yeah. So we do have very inclusive programs. So across the level, like for example, when it comes to hiring, okay, we have some program called as Unpause. Okay, what does this mean? Unpause is nothing but the people, the ladies, after the maternity break, various breaks in their career, right? They have taken. So we hire those set of people. So there is a program for that set of people.
Very interesting.
Once they come in, okay, so there is a program which is there for is lady specific, right? Not only women, it is on the entire LGBTQ, various other diversity, this thing. So we ensure that there are programs which are set across the level, okay? So we have something called as ESG kind of a program where there are members from across the community, right? Who comes in and they talk about it, and there are some specific set of initiatives which they come, and we have given a budget. It's not that, okay, they just do it with one of, if we have given a certain set of budget so that they can ensure that those initiatives are undertaken.
So does that mean the company has a policy wherein they mandatorily hire people from different communities and backgrounds?
So it's not mandatory. So we believe in meritocracy, but at the same time, we ensure that there are certain set of people. If there is a position which is there, we don't bias saying that, okay, is this person is from this diversity or X diversity.
Right.
We look at from a meritocracy, but we are open. So if you look at the numbers perspective, my almost 33% of my workforce is women. Right?
Very interesting.
Yeah, total workforce. We have around 3,000 to 4,000 employees which are there. So out of that, 35% is my employees, lady employees. And we have ensured there are forums where across, because what happens in the diversity also, people don't like to talk about their gender and various things. So we have created those forums where people can openly come together, discuss about their issues. And there are various policies which are also framed so that it helps that diversity in the company.
That is very fascinating to hear. I think giving that platform actually helps, because when people feel that they're heard, I mean, that's the best kind of empowerment.
So we ensure that there are various forums, various communication where we hear them out. There is a group which is created, ESG group. Okay, so there is a certain around 15-20 people in that, and we quarterly meet to ensure that, okay, what is that they have done, and is there any initiative which they feel we should do it. So there is a proper plan for a year. Okay, in this quarter, this is what is going to get executed. So that's how we ensure that it is taken care.
Very interesting. We spoke about the size of the company just now. Now when the company is a baby, I mean, India is seeing a massive surge in the number of startups, right? When startups start, the entire focus is on numbers, business, right? Everyone wants revenue to be coming in. But when the company size up, right, and become as massive as Angel One, I personally feel that the complexity with the number of people we have also increases. Now this could be, imagine 3,000 people having 3,000 different kind of grievances, right? So how do you make sure you hear them all? And how do you make sure then you develop policies or programs which kind of solves for all of their challenges, right? And maybe if you can support this with a policy or an anecdote which you actually developed after hearing their feedback, I mean, that will be good to hear.
Yeah, sure. So whatever it is, as a business, at the end of the day, the revenue matters, right? It is not that revenue doesn't matter if you grow up, right? And but it's the people who generates that revenue, right? You have to take care of those people. So I can give an example at the COVID time, right? Everybody was having issues, and after certain 3-4 months, people started calling back people to the office.
Right.
We took that conscious call. We said, no, you will be working from home. It's a permanent work from home.
Wow.
And there were people who said, we are in the outskirts, we don't have electricity, we don't have chairs. Yeah. We said, okay, nothing doing. We sent across office chairs to them. Okay. We sent across, people said, there is no electricity sometimes. We said, okay, not a problem. You can take an inverter, which is given to them. So we went across those personalized stuff to ensure that those each and every employee is taken care. Some people said, okay, there are issues with my family is getting COVID and there is no insurance. We went beyond. We said, okay, not only you, your spouse, kids, family member, even the extended family member we tried to cover. So that feeling of comfort is there, for that assurance is there from the company, so that he or she can focus on the productivity rather than focusing on the other things which is around. So we ensure that my team called up each and every employee to find out what is your problem. This is the problem. We said, okay, we'll give it to you. Some was given inverter, some was given chair, some was given table. So we ensured that. So that's how, because many companies called the employees back to the office, but we went beyond that to ensure that, okay, it can be done in a personalized way so that they are comfortable during that time.
I mean, this is a very fantastic effort, and generally we don't get to hear, companies taking that extra mile to comfort and empower their employees. Now, I would also want to understand, hiring in general has become very competitive, right? I think there are so many companies coming in, especially in the fintech space, right? How do you make sure that, what strategies do you deploy to make sure you attract the best of the best young talent? And the most important problem, retaining them. What are the key strategies? I mean, if you can talk about some of them.
Yeah, sure. So as a company, we were a physical company, okay, where we used to have around 150, 200 branches. From there, we came to a phygital, to a digital, now to a tech kind of a company, right? The strategy has been evolving over a period of time. As I said at the beginning, now we hire only people from a technology kind of a background, okay, who understand, not from a financial services, BFSI background. So it was a challenge, right? And attracting this talent, because this talent comes from a tech world where they're solving some problem, right? So we ensured that the purpose of, what is the purpose? Because what we felt is, once you give that clear message to the employee, what is the purpose? What is that you are solving? Okay, what is the problem you are solving, right? That was very critical for this set of people. So we ensured that our problem statement, our North Star, our mission is very clear, so that people understand this is what you're coming over here. This is the problem you're trying to solve. Okay.
And this happens during interviews.
Yeah, we ensure that. So we ensure that clarity is given to them. So my team, when I speak to any candidate, the first call is to make them understand what is that you are going to do over here, right? So that the person is well aware about why they are going to join Angel.
Correct.
Right? And once they come in, right? So we have our employee value proposition, bold moves ahead, like hashtag bold moves ahead. That's our employee value. We give that, saying that, okay, this is how the company is going to work, right? So that is how we ensure the strategy is done. And when it comes to retention, right? Retention is always being a challenge. If I will be wrong telling that, okay, I have 100% retention. No, it doesn't work in that way. Right? But by doing this, right, what has happened is, people, even if they have certain aspiration of going out, they know over here there is a clear purpose, and we ensure that we give various benefits around, as I said, the training program, the compensations, various things which we take care, the benefits, and everything is taken care. It's a holistic approach of retaining them, right? In that process, what we ensure that we keep it very simple. We don't complicate things to the employee, because when you start complicating the things to the employee, that is when the employee feels, oh, this is not the right place to work. So we make the communication simple. We have regular town halls. We have regular communications to the employees, what is happening, updating them about what is happening in the company, what is not working in the company. We are very open. Even my CMD comes in the town hall, he talks about it, what is not working. So that's where people get connected, saying that, okay, this is working, this is not working, this is where we have to work upon. So that's how we ensure that it's a holistic approach. It's just not, you can do training, but it's all about the communication around that.
I think that's in keeping it very transparent and keeping it very communicative, so that the employee at all times understands what he's expected to do, and he or she can make a very conscious call then. Very interesting. I would also want to understand, since we are talking about hiring, right? There are Gen Zs who have also come into workforce, right? And I think in one of those previous questions you mentioned, there are around 30% Gen Zs in the workforce, right? 20-30%, right? Now, with these Gen Zs coming, of course, there will be a shift of behavior, which you would have also observed at the workplace, right? I mean, can you talk through some of it? Maybe what has happened and what has changed at the workplace, and how is company ready to absorb this behavior shift or this cultural shift, which is happening?
Yeah, it's a great question. So Gen Z, so when it comes to Gen Z, I keep on telling my team, right? You're in the world of Swiggy, Zomatos, where it is Insta, Blinkit, it's Insta, right? You order within 10-15 minutes, your thing is done.
Correct.
Now, when it comes to employee Gen Z, so because they are born and brought up in that fashion, right? Everything is Insta, right? And when it comes to employee, you are still can't be a old type. Okay, there is a employee coming to you, you think about it. It cannot work in that fashion,
right?
For them, the clarity of thought is very clear, right? So they want to know what is that, why I'm coming over here, what is that I'm trying to solve, and is it everything getting Insta? So it's a world of that. It's right. So that's where we try to ensure that our processes, systems, and everything is in such a fashion, right? So we have tools around it to ensure that instant recognitions are given to them. Wow. There are tools where they have, there is a mobile app for the employees where they can do all those attendance, leave, or whatever they want to do on the go.
Quick access.
Yeah, quick access. So that's where we have got it right. And even when the Gen Zs are joining, right, we ensure that it's not that, okay, after joining, you will get the laptops or anything. It's before, on day one, before you're joining, your laptops and everything will reach to you. You have to just log in to the system and start working. It is not that after joining, after 15 days, the laptop will come. Wow. Before joining, we trust you, we believe in you, the laptops are given, everything configured, the login and password happens on that day, and that person starts working. So that's how we have ensured that. It's a small thing, yes, but we have ensured that the feeling. So for them, it is everything is Insta, right? That's the feeling which we like.
I think it's a perfect marriage of what is their expectation and what is company delivering.
Yep.
Very, very good to hear that. Also, I think 4 years back, we witnessed COVID, right? Which is, which disrupted everything, right? Pre-COVID, post-COVID, have you encountered any change in employees' behavior, or have you encountered any shift in employees' behavior? And, if yes, how do you tackle for that? How do you plan for that?
So there are, pre-COVID and post-COVID, yes, there is a behavior change, right? Many people during the COVID, when the COVID happened, and many people were struggling to work from home, right? Because you come to office, you collaborate, you see each other, you have a cup of coffee and get the things done. And there was lots of issues of people not getting aligned. There is a family issue, space issue, various things people had. So that's how I said in a few minutes back about we provided various other things.
Right.
But post-COVID also, when we started looking out for people, right? We said during the COVID itself, we are going to be a permanent work from home, right? Work from anywhere, not home also. We've said work from anywhere, right? Which helped us to recruit talent, where many companies started calling them back to the office. Okay. So that's where we saw a change, a shift in the behavior, where people who got used to it of working, right? People felt, okay, this is the place where you can come and work. So that's the behavior shift which we ensured, and we try to grab that shift, right? And that's the reason my entire, you can say, the tech folks which are there, many of the tech folks were hired during that time, okay? And that's where we felt as a behavior shift was on getting things done. So it was on the productivity, not on the volume of time, how much time you spend. And we also ensure that there are various communication tools which we created for them to get the feeling, right? Take an example, like we used to have engagement initiative before, right? We still have. We celebrate Diwali, Christmas online.
All of this has moved online.
Online. We still celebrate. So from last 4-5 years, we've been celebrating that. Okay, so that is the shift which has seen on the behavior of the people, and they enjoy it, right? And whenever it is required, and people do come to office, so that's the shift which we have seen.
That is very, very fantastic to hear. I think people are also reciprocating to, the move and the shift, the massive shift which has happened. In one of your previous stints, there was this least attrition rate, you achieved in one of your previous stints. I would just want to understand, how do you as a leader achieve that? Because attrition is a problem a lot of corporates are facing, right? And what are those 1-2 things or 1-2 nuances, which if done right can actually help solve that cause?
Yeah, so the least attrition is there in this company also, right?
So you're maintaining the legacy there.
So we do have so that's what I said. See, end of the day, if you give that clarity to the people, right? So I have almost 82, 83%, 84% of retention rate. So my attrition rate is around 13, 14%,
Yep.
which is where the industry is around 25, 30 kind of a percent. So it is all about how you ensure that the simplicity is done, right? How you communicate with the employees, how you ensure that they are updated about each and everything which is there in the system. So what I feel is it's never been a work, right? It is all about how you make your work in such a fashion that people should enjoy what they're doing, right? And if you enjoy in what you're doing and you know what you are doing, it becomes easier for a retention.
Right. Interesting. I would now want to pick your brain on, some moonshots, right? So essentially, I would just want to understand from you, imagine we're in 2035. How would HR for fintech would change? Like, what would be the future of HR in fintech in 10 years down the line?
Okay, it's great. I think that's the debate which is going on in my team, right? What is that you want to do next, right? So as I said, your question, it's all about the personalization, right? It's all about, we are in the Netflix world. So when you open your Netflix,
it's all personalized.
It's personalized. What you see, right, is something different, and what I see is something different. Right. So can we give that, right? Can it be because you would have heard about business intelligence,
right?
Business intelligence data. Can you have people insight? So that is what we have built over here. So we have various dashboards on the people insights, which is a data driven. It is not on the intuition of any X person or Y person. It is on the data, purely on the data, because business runs on the data.
Correct.
Can people insights can also be run on data, and can it be personalized to each individual when they come, when they open everything? Can it be personalized to that level? Can the policy, because gone are those days where you have one policy who fits to everyone, right? It is gone on those days. So what I believe by 2035, that will be the future, right? You will have various things which is getting personalized to that extent to each and every employee. Because if you don't do that, it is not just Gen Z. By that time, Gen Alpha,
yeah,
right, will also be in that plant, right? If the Alpha comes into this thing, and if you see you're doing this, the corporate world will not survive, right? So you have to be in that personalized thing, which you will have to do it to that extent.
Understood. And how do you, so personalization can be achieved, of course, with technology. Do you also see Gen AI coming in and, so there's a lot of talk around, how Gen AI will kill jobs or, will deteriorate the system, how it works, right? Do you also feel the same way? What's your take on these?
So this was the same talk when the computers came, right? When the internet came, the job will go, but the job didn't go, right? The new jobs were created.
Correct.
Right? The old people, the old jobs were abolished, but the new jobs got created. It's the same thing, right? With Gen AI coming in, it is all about there's a future, right? There will be certain jobs which will not be there. But
right.
The new jobs, the new skills will be required. So that is what is going to generate. Yeah, so it is going to stay, right? And for me, what I feel is the new skills will come up and the new jobs will come up.
Interesting. I would now want to understand. For any viewer, right, who is probably lost a job right now, right? I mean, because last year and this year is a very turbulent year and very volatile year, right? People lost their jobs and are in search of new jobs and new opportunities, right? If someone's if someone's such a situation, what are the 2-3 things you would want to recommend that human being that look, you do these 2-3 right, and things will fall in place for you? Because eventually, in your long career, you would have also seen such 2-3 cycles of recession, right? So then, and you would have also seen people coming out of it, right? Then, as a piece of advice, if you want to give to the viewers, what would that 2-3 advices be?
Yeah, as I said in my previous question which you asked, you have to keep on upskilling, right? You have to keep on learning, right? If you are gone out of a job, there might be some reason for that, right? Identify that reason. Identify why, because many a times people say, okay, I'm out of the job. It is not that way. It is the skills, right? The companies are moving to the next generation, so your skills are not to the date. So you have to ensure that what is the skills which is required. I have to keep myself updated with that. Keep on learning. So many a times what happens is people, when they come to a job, like after doing your college and this thing, oh, now it is a job of company to upgrade me. It is not. See, company has got a limitation of budgets and everything, right? Company will do whatever is required. But you as an individual,
It's your own.
have to keep investing on you, right? You have to keep on investing on you. If you're getting X salary, you have to ensure that this much is going to get invested on my studies, on my learnings, new learnings and everything. I think that is what is the missing. I think if people start doing that, and I advise my team, don't just be on the company. And there are very people who understands that, and they've funded their own stuff and they're growing. Because I personally do that. It's like for me, I spend some good amount in my learning. So I think if you keep on learning, I think that's you attain new skills, whatever it is skills which is there, keep on learning, it can be different stuff which is not in your areas
Or comfort zone.
You can go outside, right? So just to give some example, during the COVID time or something, I said something different I can do. I did some acting course. Okay, I went out of it and I did that. So just to get a feel of it, okay, kya skill?
And which has nothing to do with your normal course of life.
Nothing to do with my this thing. So you have to keep on,
learning, grabbing opportunities.
Learning things, what is working, what is not working. Yeah.
So Subash, there is a lot of conversation these days around work-life balance, right? Achieving work-life balance, right? I want to do my passion right. I want to do my professional life. What is your take on work-life balance, and what is your suggestion to people who want to do great in their personal and professional life both?
Yeah. So it's a controversy going on now. So I firmly believe, right, it all depends upon the individual, right? And if you want to grow, right, I always give this example to my team. Now, if Sachin Tendulkar was playing cricket, right, and he spent almost 25 years. If you see his movie or if you see his various films, he has always kept on saying, like, he missed his son's birthday, daughter's birthday. He was never being there. He was playing, right? That's the reason he is over there, right? And if you would have said that I required a work-life balance, he would have not been a Sachin Tendulkar, right? So it all depends upon the individual, how you want to do it, right? If you want to grow in life, you will have to work out how you want to get it. So at Angel, what we ensure that is the work should be fun. So there is one more saying, fun at work, right? People call it fun at work. This thing, I don't believe in fun at work. You cannot have fun at work. Your work should be fun.
Oh,
yes. If your work is fun, how you can make your work fun? Ensuring that you have a right purpose, right KPIs, right objectives, which is defined, and you have given all the necessary resources, your work will be fun, right? If you don't know, when you get up in the morning, you don't know what I'm supposed to do, you will feel what I'm doing. My personal life is getting affected. My work is getting affected. So that's where it all depends upon the individual. And as a company, if you can start ensuring that you make your work as fun, I think that the work-life balance will be taken care of, and you will get opportunity to stare at your wife, not only your wife, even if your neighbor's wife. Yeah.
And I think that's very interesting. If you don't have that clarity when you wake up, escapism also then happens, right? When the people want to then shy away and sideline things, right? I think prioritizing and having that purpose is very, very important, as you rightly said. I think we are towards the very last leg of the podcast. My last question to you would be, if I come to you and seek a career advice, right? What would that one career advice you would give to me based on your experience, and which I should take back as a strong lesson?
So one advice which I always give again this to my team, and this is like 99% of the people do the same thing, right? If you look at everyone, it is 99% of the people do the same thing, and you do that. And if you do certain tasks, it is always that 90. It's the difference. It is that 1% is the difference, right? Can you go that extra mile when it comes to people, when it comes to business, when it comes to anything? Can you give that 1%? And that is the differentiator, right? That is the differentiator. I think the youth will have to understand that, right? If you don't, because they feel, oh, I've done this, that's okay. But can you go beyond? Can you do that zara sa or, right? When it comes to customer, when it comes to people, when it comes to at home, when it comes to everywhere, can you give that extra 1%? And if people can start giving that 1%, and they will be in that 1% club, right? So that's the difference. So that's the message I would like to give to the people. Do that zara sahar.
And there's this mathematical equation as well, right? 1.01 raised to power 365 and 0.99 raised to power 365. There's like a massive difference in both the computations. I think that was a very insightful conversation. And I think I've taken back so many nuanced strategies, right? How do you well understand your people and how do you get them to do the best, right? So if I hadn't done this conversation with you, wouldn't have, taken these small messages back. But I think, thank you for your time. And it was a very, very enriching conversation. Loved my time here.
Thank you, Shikhar. It was great interacting with you.
Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you.